Hello, friends, and welcome to Season 10 of the Future Ready Librarians podcast series, Leading from the Library. This is a podcast for all librarians wherever you are in your journey. It is filled with amazing guests, important topics, and engaging conversations that will inspire, engage, and support all of us as future ready librarians. I am your host, Shannon McClintock Miller. I am the district teacher librarian at Van Meter Community School in Van Meter, Iowa, and serve as the Future Ready Librarians leader. I have the pleasure of working within my library and school community and also with others around the country and world through Future Ready librarian events, conferences, consulting, writing, and more. I am honored to bring these voices and the work of others to our podcast and to all of you. Today, I am so excited because I recently went to the most magical place, Nantucket. And before I went, I looked them up online and knew how many libraries they had and librarians. And I thought in my head, I wonder how it works to have a middle and a high school library in the same space. It's very similar to where I teach in Van Meter, that we're all together. And so I couldn't wait to go to Nantucket, not only to work with their amazing librarians, but to see this really super cool space. And so I haven't stopped thinking about it probably since I've been there and all the amazing things that these two have done. But you're in for a real treat today. I always ask my guests if they have any ideas for it, like titles, and Two Librarians Out to Sea. Perfect. I can't even think of anything more perfect. And so I love that too. So awesome.
It's true on so many levels.
I know.
It is. It's so great. But you guys, just to start, let's start out by having you introduce yourselves and tell what you do for your job.
Okay. My name is Becky Hickman, and I am the middle school librarian. So I am responsible for grades 6, 7, and 8. I've been in this role for 7 years, I think. So when I stepped into the role, we were in the process of renovating and redesigning the entire space. So I was fortunate to be part of all of that because our space is quite spectacular. And prior to that, I was the English teacher in 6th grade for 17 years. And here I am. I love my job.
Yay. Well, you can tell, Becky.
All right. I'm Jill Surprenant. I am the librarian here at Nantucket High School, which serves grades 9 through 12. This is my 4th year in this position. 29 years, I served as a Spanish teacher in the same school, just down the stairs and down the hall a little bit. So I have finally realized my dream, my childhood dream of becoming a librarian after 29 years of classroom teaching. So I love it. I love being in the library and just seeing more students and working with Becky and in the middle school, high school space here. So we're really fortunate.
And yes, we are sitting at our shared desk. We're not usually this close.
Yeah, this is a little much.
I love it. I know. I like your shared desk, though. That's pretty cool. I know. And I think about, like, when I think about the two of you and even just being, where you live and how you get there and all of that, like, let's just start. I think that's like something too that I found so fascinating was just how you teach on an island. And I think even just like the kids that you serve and the community, and just give people, because I'm sure a lot of our listeners haven't been to Nantucket, just give us a little bit of a picture so our listeners too can get that.
There's no bridge, there's no tunnel.
No.
It's a boat or an airplane. Pretty much, there are some helicopters that come, but we are not privy to those,
Yeah.
or we don't want to be.
If you're on the helicopter ride, that's not good news.
Yeah, that's a medevac usually, unless you're super rich. our students to compete in sporting events and also like music festivals and poetry competitions.
Poetry out loud.
Yes, that they just did have to get on a boat. And if the boats are canceled, all sorts of havoc is wreaked. So we have challenges.
Yeah. So this
geographic ones.
we are 14 miles by 7, I think, little spit of sand, 30 miles off of Cape Cod. But we have one school district, so Nantucket Public Schools, which serves pre-K to 12. We also, on the little island, have two private schools. One school serves grades pre-K through 8, and the other private school serves pre-K to 6. I believe they just added 6 back in. So they are small, but our population so diverse, which I don't know if people would necessarily expect of Nantucket with their preconceived notions that we're all billionaires. I am not.
Not true.
But our middle school has about 360 students, and the high school is almost at 600, 595 students. And our diversity is we are approximately 60% not white.
So
the languages spoken here, I think we have like 11 or more. It's probably more now, languages that are spoken in the hallways here. And it's just fascinating how this has grown since when I first came here. There were 2 Latinx families here, and each of the moms helped me in my Spanish classroom. And now we are we're about our Latinx population is what did I say 40%? And so that is definitely the bulk.
Yeah, I know there were so many things that I saw and that popped into my head when I was visiting and just talking about like the kids that you serve. I thought that was just such a neat thing to see in your collection, how you really represented all of your kids and even how you did that was just so thoughtful and just that was something that was a big aha to me, because I didn't really realize that before I came.
Yeah, we've worked hard on that. It's been
Yes.
very intentional. Like
Yes.
from our decor to our our titles and our collection to just even posters and flyers around that are in multi-language.
Yeah, I love that. I know. And so people are probably thinking in their head, just like I did, like, so how do you make it work when you have 2 libraries, 2 collections, 2 people that you serve, grades that you serve, levels? How do you make that work in a shared library?
We're a pretty good team, I think.
We kind of have the philosophy that we both do everything.
Mhm.
So if a 6th grader comes and needs help finding a book, and she's, I don't know, helping somebody with the jam of the copy machine, something very exciting. I jump in and help the kid. I don't say, "Oh, why don't you talk to Miss Hickman?" Unless, of course, I know that they want to find a specific something that she's presented to a class or anything. I won't bother her. And she does the same to my seniors that come in. So we try to do everything together. We have some morning events that we host a few times a year, and it's for all students and all staff. It's for everybody in both schools, and we're both running around, facilitating that, making it work together.
Yeah. And in terms of books in the collection, I mean, we have quite a few. Our high school kids, I feel, tend to gravitate towards my side of the library, the middle school side. I like to say that the whole space is for everybody, but the middle school books live over there and the high school books live over there. But we do have, particularly our English language learners or just some of our students that aren't, as big of a reader. So they will often come and check out my books. The 8th graders, they have mostly free reign of the high school. I never will stop a younger student from going to the high school. However, depending on the book, I will say, hey, let's just have a conversation with whoever's at home. before that goes home, particularly my sixth graders. I tend to not necessarily let them go over there, which they're very understanding. They get it.
Yeah. And we have some really advanced readers
Yes.
In all grades at the middle school. And so they tend to come over and they know, not to flaunt that, that, we know who they are for the most part. Sometimes we'll get a transfer student in and talk to them about some of their favorite books and what they've read. And immediately, oh, well, these kids are going to be having some access to some of the high school books. So,
yeah. I think that's great though. Well, and I just found it so refreshing and like welcoming, all the different things that you did for all the kids. The moment you walked in, all the different kinds of programming you had going on and the little things that they could do or things that they could see on the wall. Like that was a really neat thing because you've built that community of just like reading, and celebrating and championing like your readers. But I would love for you to talk about some of the cool programs that you have because I think our listeners love ideas. And that's one thing that when I listen to a podcast, I know that I hold on to those ideas, and you have a lot of neat things that are going on around programming within your library.
Well, I'll start. We do morning events throughout the year, typically around a holiday, even though we try not to make it specifically about Christmas. It's more just a holiday celebration. And part of our budget we use to get hot chocolate and, breakfast treats. And it's always from 7:15 to 7:45. Depending on the event, we'll show movies that relate to it. Particularly at Christmas, we have these little miniature elf on the shelves. They're like teeny tiny. And we have contests. We hide 3 of them all over the library. And they guess, and then they put their guesses in a jar and they win a prize. We have all kinds of bookish prizes.
Highly competitive.
Oh my gosh.
And they're also, and I'm always like, when you find it, you got to write down where it is. You can't grab it or show anybody. And I thought, oh, this is going to be a disaster. The first time we did it, I'm like, they're all going to show each, they're going to point to it. But they were so competitive and they wanted to win so badly that they did not tell anybody else. Like they wouldn't even tell like siblings. They were really funny. So yes.
And then right around Easter, we have an Easter egg hunt that is also as competitive. I mean, you'll have 6th graders running everywhere, 12th graders running everywhere. But they love it. And our library, we're very lucky. We are open from 7 a.m. in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. We staff that with some of our TAs or teachers that want some extra hours. And it's a great place. I mean, the morning tends to be busier than the afternoons. On any given morning, we'll have 60 to 100 kids in here just hanging out. Some doing
when I came. Yeah,
exactly.
That's right. It was crazy when you came.
That's right. Yeah, because it was cold, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and occasionally they'll even check out books.
Yes,
when they're in here. But also they're in here. They come in here because there's not much space in the cafeteria, and it's a lot nicer in here. We have more comfortable seating. And so they come in, and usually music is going on, especially in the mornings. So they all come in and just hang out with their friends, but they hang out at tables and couches, and we have books on stands in front of them. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like we put the books out and we try to rotate those. And, occasionally I just got a kid come in the other day, and the book Dune, I had just put out a new copy of the book Dune, and he was like, oh, I really want to see that movie. I'm going to get this book, and so you just never know. He came in for a loaner Chromebook. He wasn't coming into the library for a library, and then he left with a book. So it was, we try to, we draw them in and
just get them in here. That's our goal.
Yeah.
And then we have the canine therapy program, which I'll let Jill talk to that because she's kind of our orchestrator.
Well, everybody has to be a point person on something. But yes, we fought. I shouldn't say we fought for. We were passionate about. We found out about canine therapy or canine dogs coming into the libraries or other spaces around town and other schools that provide some support to students. And we're both, dog lovers. As a dog loving island, you probably noticed. And it was just an opportunity to provide something to students, another positive thing about this space. So we have students in that program. They go through the guidance department and through our SEL coordinator. But did I say that right? SEL coordinator.
I think
yes. Social emotional learning. Yes. And they have to, not every kid can come in. And so we give them appointments. We have 4 teams of dogs and handlers that come, 2 on Mondays and 2 on Thursdays. And we give students appointments. And some of these students are not library kids. And again, we're getting them in here and giving them a very positive experience, because oh my goodness, these dogs and their handlers are just so special and so sweet. And it's a volunteer program through our local MSPC. NISHA, I guess it's called, is our local animal hospital. And they do this as a community outreach and train and certify and provide these teams. And it is such a pleasure. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
We've missed
so good.
With the 4 teams, not only do we help the students, but now we've been able to open it up to our staff. So our staff has open 45 minutes to come in if it's during their planning time, just to sit. And they all leave with smiles on their faces.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Yes. And sometimes it only takes 5 minutes for the staff, particularly. They're all so busy. And it's just once they get in and start interacting with the dogs, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I came today. And it changes their whole outlook on the rest of the day. So, and we do it in the morning. So yeah.
It's that's such a cool thing though, because I also think that it speaks so strongly of the two of you to do something so special for your school and your kids and your teachers. Like, that's something that really stood out to me too. And what we all want to do, right, as librarians, is to build that community. And you've definitely done that.
To be the hub. We want this to be the hub of the 2 schools. And I think we're there. I mean, we've still got work to do, but overall, I think it's quite the meeting place.
And I was going to do another, because I do feel like we've talked about so much what we do with our kids, and we are forgetting our staff. So not only do we have the morning events where everyone is invited, but right before our book festival, which Jill and I are both on the board. So Nantucket Book Festival, everyone, look it up. It's amazing. Yeah. The lineup just came out. I know, Shannon, you liked my post.
Love it.
And it's mid Jason Reynolds. I mean, yeah, we could just.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But right before our book festival, we do a teachers only morning event. And through donations and through our budget, we buy all of the books from the authors that are coming for the festival. And we offer breakfast for the teachers and have the books out.
Coffee.
And coffee. And the books are all out on display. And we have a raffle. So if they fill out a ticket, and we pull their name and we tell them to come on down, first come, first serve. I mean, we've had teachers last year
like sprinting,
running from all the different doors, access points to the library to get that one book that they wanted. And we give them to them for free. So the Book Foundation gives us some money to buy the books. We have another local organization, the Harvey Foundation, who is just amazing and generous to our kids in so many different ways. They give money for us. And then if we need a little extra, we use our budget. And on that note,
then we have,
I was going to say, we buy all of our books for the most part. I would say 98% of our books we buy at our local bookstore, which you could probably speak to, because I know you visited there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And they give us a discount and we give them business, and they're just, they're tremendous. They're so generous to us, and they get the books really quickly. They'll let them buy us right off the shelf if they have them. And they even come and bring books to sell when we have our visiting author, which is another program that we want to talk about. And they come to sell those so the kids can get their books signed by the visiting author, and they extend the discount even then in the
Yes.
moment to our students
So
and
cool.
faculty. So
Yeah.
Did you want us to talk about the visiting authors?
Yes.
we have time.
Love it.
So our visiting author program, it was pretty much in place before I became the librarian. And then it's just continued. But now with Jill and I on the board, yes, it's expanded. Every student on the island, whether they're in the private school or the public school, we have authors for all of them. And high school just had Kim Johnson. In the fall, the upper elementary and middle school had Gordon Corman. Meg Medina is coming for our littles,
right.
pre-K to 3. She's coming on May 29th. Prior to that, we've had Elizabeth Acevedo, Jason Reynolds, Kwame Alexander, K.A. Holt, who I just
Neil
texted,
Schusterman.
Neil Schusterman, Lori Halls Anderson. And I know that we're forgetting many others, but yes, sure. Again, that's largely in part to the Book Foundation, and they pay for that. So these authors are for our kids
and coordinate like the visit, the travel, everything. It's a fabulous, and it gets our kids really excited about books and writing. And they do writers workshop. Like Kim Johnson just did, she did the big presentation to all of the high school, the entire student body. And then in the afternoon, she did a little writers workshop for a small group, including our creative writing class. They all got to come, and a lot of my book lovers club attended, and that it's just amazing to have her like just guiding them through these writing exercise, and she's just a world-class writer. So anyway, it was just fabulous.
That's so neat. I know. I think that's just so it was just really inspiring, all of the things that you do around the authors. And I think that it's just like what you said, like talk about getting the kids excited not only about what they're reading, but also to inspire them to be, writers or illustrators, publishers, like all of that. And I think it speaks so highly to your families too, that you have these great events. Lucky, lucky kids and teachers for sure. One other thing that I just thought of is I loved how you had, and I can't remember what you called it, those classes that you teach where kids come in and they were reading.
Oh my, yes. I piloted that last year, I think. I had seen it somewhere on a librarian blog that they were teaching an independent reading class, and I just wanted to do that. Kids, their schedules are just so full, and I know that our English teachers do the best they can to give them the 10, 15 minutes to read, but I think they needed more than that. So I offered it as an elective. They can choose to sign up, and basically it's every day for 50 minutes. I usually will have like a 10-minute activator where I am having them use Book Creator to kind of keep a log of what they're reading. That's their creativity. I'll have discussion prompts here and there. Sometimes we'll do little book conferences, but for the most part, they're just reading whatever they want for 45 minutes. They're on a beanbag, they're on the couches, they're in the Papasan chairs, they're everywhere, lying on the floor. And they love it. And I love it because selfishly, I'm reading too.
Yeah, I thought that was such a good idea. And when I go back to school after I've been somewhere, I love telling our teachers like all that inspiration, that I saw and that we talked about. And that was one thing that I've thought of a lot, were those kids that were just reading and you could tell that they were happy, to have that time. And I think it's so cool that it's like a course that you thought of, that you piloted. And so definitely something that I would love to do in the future. Once my library's done, I can do that. So
yeah. And we will be there to see that.
Heck,
oh, yes, that's right. I think we decided that you're putting us up for that. Yeah.
I think so. You're staying with
just
me.
kidding.
So.
I'm pretty sure that's what.
And I'm very excited to see the home renovation in person.
Yes, I know. I can't wait too. I love it. Oh, I miss you guys. And I am so happy that you came on, and I think it's just such a dear, such a special place, but it's because of the two of you too. And so
Thank you. I feel like we're really fortunate. I think, I think I might have said it to you when you were here, but like she will type an email and be like, can you read this before I send it? And all I have to do is lean over. We're so lucky that we can help each other. Like I said, we tag team if kids come in looking for books and faculty needs something else, and then students need access to Chromebooks. And I mean, I think being able to tag team, and we both have restaurant backgrounds too from our second job. So I think we're used to working in a busy space and serving multiple people. So
it's just a shame we don't really get along.
I know,
right?
If only
I love it.
Conquer that.
Love it.
All we need is a third. We need you to come, Shannon. Sit right at this desk with us.
Sign me up.
Well, we have a job opening 3 through 5.
Oh gosh, I should just come on.
Yeah. It's so
talk
close.
about a dream job.
That would be a dream for us.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. You guys are amazing. And I just wanted to, if there is a place that they can find you online, if you wanted to share that with our listeners. People always ask. So if there's a handle that you'd like to share, and we'll make sure that's in the notes too.
Yep, we are both on Instagram. And it's pretty easy. I am ACK CPS Library Lady, and Jill is ACK NHS Library Lady.
Good. I'm going to put that in the notes too, so everybody can know where to see all the cool things you're doing, and just keep doing great things, friends. And
thank you. Well, a lot of what we do, we owe to you.
Yeah. Thank you for all your inspiration and ideas and work.
Yes.
Thank you. That means so much to me. Thanks for being on today. As always, thank you to all of our listeners for joining us for this episode of the Future Ready Librarian podcast series, Leading from the Library. And a very special thank you to our sponsors, Follett. You make a difference in our libraries, schools, and within our lives, and that of our students every day. We appreciate everything you do. I hope you can take what you learned in today's podcast and put it to use within your practice as a future-ready librarian. If I can support you in any way, please feel free to reach out to me on X or Instagram at Shannon M. Miller, or to my email at shannonmcclintockmiller@gmail.com. I am always happy to help and support each and every one of you. Until next time, friends, keep finding ways to lead within and from your library.